you joined the RAF in 1946.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you did in the RAF?
Yeah. For my sins, I went and did my square bashing, etc. We were all then assessed to what would you like to do, sort of thing. Well, I wanted the Air Force to learn me to drive. It was an experience being taken away from your family. You grew up suddenly and you were in a totally different world. You had to grow up and you left your mum and dad because it is here all your life. And you went in the Air Force. I did my square bashing in Wilmslow, Cheshire, which is now the home of all the rich footballers and what have you. And we went to see, they have these panels, and you would see the panel and they said, what would you like to do? I said, I want to learn to drive one of these big trucks. Well, immediately the answer was, well, you can't, are you prepared to sign on? There was always a catch. Are you prepared to sign on for 3 years, 4 years, 10 years? No, I said, I'm not prepared to sign on. Right, we'll have to find you something else then. Well, I was 5'10" and not exactly a waster. He says, I have an ideal job for you. I said, what's that then? He says, why don't you become a policeman? I said, I don't want to be a policeman. No, he says, you'll find, you're a big lad, he says, you'll get on as a policeman. I says, well, he says, and the road to promotion's easier than being an AC plonk. So I thought, well, I'll be a policeman. So I finished up doing the police course and eventually became a RAF policeman, which I have to admit, I enjoyed. I enjoyed every minute because they sent me away to a camp. I was posted eventually to a camp in Lincolnshire. It was a big bomb dump. It was hidden away in a huge wood. Nobody was supposed to know it was there, and my job was just security. And the thing about it was there were only about 200 men on the camp. They were all armourers. There were 2 corporals like myself, a sergeant and a couple of lads with Alsatians, and that was the police unit. We were responsible for security. The thing about it was you were called up for 2 years. After the end of 2 years, it was nearly up and I was nearly ready for home. They came along and said, there's been a hiccup and we can't let you go for another 6 months because they're not getting police into the course as fast as they like, so you'll have to stop longer. So I finished up doing almost 3 years as a conscript. And I thought at the time, or afterwards, it had have been as well signing on for 3 years and getting me driving job. But you didn't know that at the time. But I can say about being in services, it brought me a lot of friends, and I've still got a lot of ex-service friends around my age, and it didn't do me one little bit of harm. I loved every minute of being in forces, and I think it's unfortunate that they didn't carry on with national service, because I think it would have done everybody good. So eventually I thought it was time to move on. So I moved on and applied for a job in the post office, and I should have gone to the post office 10 years earlier, because that was a fantastic job. Only a postman, but I loved it. All in all, it's been a good life, a really good life. I'm hoping there's a few more years yet, but it's not a life I can't say I haven't enjoyed. I have enjoyed it. Everything so far seems to have gone all right. And it's all been good, as far as I'm concerned anyway. It still is. It's nice to appear on a film anyway.